What is up, guys? Kind of went on another little hiatus, I guess. We're picking up here in Lockport, New York, just outside of Buffalo. Got 752 miles to delivery. We're heading down to Richburg, South Carolina. Crappy paying load, $1.77 loaded, $1.40 something with empty miles. 1,200 bucks, 1,200 and change. Say 12.82 and 7 cents. I did work last week. I did 2 loads. At the end of the week, I went up and picked up, let's see, Wednesday night I left the house. Basically stayed home so that, well, the first couple days, I don't remember what was going on there. But I ended up staying home for Wednesday because that was the kids' first day of school. And the first thing that was available to me was a load out of Messina, New York, picking up Thursday morning. Unfortunately. So I left Wednesday night after dinner, ran up there, spent the night at Messina, at Alcoa, the customer. Picked up Thursday morning, ran it out Thursday. I got about an hour shy of delivery in Cleveland to the pilot I go to, Austinburg. I think it's Austinburg, Ohio. That came in just over $1,000. And then I deadheaded over to Milan, Ohio, and picked up a load of shingles. Excuse me. Man, something doesn't seem right here. Oh yeah, we make a left here, then a right. Got it. I don't usually get confused when I take something backwards. So we ran over to Milan, Ohio. We picked up there, I think it was like 10:30. Our appointment time was to pick up at 11 o'clock. I actually think I got there a little earlier than that. I think it might have been even like 9:30, 10 o'clock when I got there. Got right in line, got loaded up, threw the straps real quick, took off, and went back home. This morning, I left at the house. The load of shingles went to Syracuse. Delivered in Syracuse, 8 a.m. this morning. Luckily, my wife had her alarm clock set for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. So we woke up, instead of 6 o'clock this morning, we woke up at 10 to 7. Luckily, we woke up then and we didn't wake up at 8 o'clock or something. So I got to the delivery. I got there 10 minutes to 8. Had to wait 3 minutes for the other driver in front of me to finish up. He pulled out, or no, I backed in, then he pulled out. And then I ran over here to Lockport, picked up, now we're heading to South Carolina. So that's a little overview of what we've done since I've been on last. Now I gotta start getting things going because the time has come. Last week, at the end of the week, I put in a new application to go to a different company. Not going to release that yet. I'll let you guys know. It's probably, we're going to stay here at Mercer for the rest of the month. I think probably going to leave. I'm looking at either the first week or the second week of October. Just trying to get everything to where it needs to be. I'm I want to get tires on this trailer, brakes on this trailer. I got to rotate my tires on the tractor. I got to change the headache rack, which I'm going to try to get over there this coming week. If I can't make it over there during this week, I'm going to try to get it. I got to get over there by sometime next week, even if I got a deadhead a little bit. I got to get this headache rack pulled off, put on my other one, my new one, that I technically haven't paid for yet, which is going to be a lot smaller. I'm also taking my condenser for this EPU. I'm taking the condenser off. I'm going to strap it right down to the EPU for now, and then I'm either going to bolt that to the headache rack, or I'm just going to go talk to Tri-Pack and see if I can get a little money off by trading that one in, because I want a diesel one. But that's not something that needs to be done before I move. That's just something I need to do when I change out the headache rack, because I want the headache rack. Right now I have this headache rack almost pushed right up against the EPU. Come on. Tried to let him out. He was thankful enough that I let two of them go. So, but I definitely want to get that moved out, because this headache rack right now, if I hit certain bumps, I can hear the condensers hitting against the headache rack. So, I definitely want to get that off of the back of the truck. I also found out that they have these things called, instead of a rivet gun, it's a nut rivet. Weird name. It's basically you're putting a rivet of a nut in place, so this way you can bolt to the wall, and that's basically what's in the back of the tractor. Pretty sure I showed you guys. I ripped my airlines out of the back of the tractor. They fell down off of the headache rack, and they got all twisted up inside my drive shaft. But when that happened, the one bracket that holds the airlines to the back of the sleeper, it ripped half the bracket out before it snapped the airlines. If I remember, I'll throw up a quick picture for you guys to show you what I'm talking about. So I definitely, I gotta get that. I want to get that bracket removed. I want to get it added to the headache rack, or somehow put it up to the headache rack so it's not the way it is, or possibly make a new bracket. I don't really like the way it's set up, so I gotta figure out a different setup for it. Oh man, I guess that's pretty much it as far as that goes. Get the headache rack on eventually. I mean, the airlines and stuff don't need to be moved before we change companies here. That's pretty much what I want to get done. I got to get shocks done on the tractor, and I want to put new brake shoes on the front. And I'm also looking to see if I need to get my kingpins done. I got to get an alignment done. I got a little bit of a checklist going on. The big question here is going to be, why am I leaving Mercer? That's a little bit of a tough one. For the main reason that I'm leaving is I get bored very easily, and to be honest, I'm quite shocked that I'm still here. If you actually look back on my videos and actually look at the dates, I only last about a year at each company. If I go back to before getting into the lease game and everything like that, go back to company driver, I spent 1 year at TMC, 1 year or 7 months at US Express, 1 year at CRST, which with just those 3, I left TMC because of we had a little bit of a disagreement. They wanted to take me out of my brand new truck and put me in an old 2006 truck, and I told them I wasn't doing it. If I was packing up my truck, I was going home for good. And that was just TMC being overly anal about their equipment. US Express I left because I wanted to go to CRST. I was held up from going to CRST for like 6 months because of a seatbelt ticket that I still had pending on my record. I had actually gotten 2 seatbelt tickets 1 week after the other. I don't even think it was that far apart. I think it was a couple days apart. Ever since then, I've worn my seatbelt. And I left CRST because the lack of freight in my hometown area. We then moved on to Schneider. Schneider was a good company, but they were just overbearing on their crap. Hit the brake a little bit too hard, come around a turn a little bit too fast according to the system. I was too fast. Well, the one time I came around too fast, and it wasn't that I came around too fast, it was I was bobtail. I came around the turn and my tire, I was living in the back roads of Pennsylvania, and there was this much room off of the white line, and my truck fit the lane like perfectly, and my back tire had just creeped over the edge there as I was coming around a turn, so I gave it a hard jerk to the left, and that triggered their stupid system there to say that I was going around a turn too fast. It just a stupid crap like that's what made me leave Schneider. I love their setup. Their load board setup was phenomenal. And I stayed at Schneider for the year, and that was basically the first year of the main reason I went to Schneider was to get through their lease program, because it was, I mean, they have a good program. They have it set up to pay off the lease. Yes, you're paying very high payments, and you're definitely overpaying for the truck, but when you look at all the different avenues to take to get a truck, as far as no down payment, no credit check, it was a perfect setup for me. So I got the truck, I finished off the first year lease, re-signed the lease, and moved over here to Mercer. And I've been here at Mercer, come this Wednesday, is 2 years. So, I mean, as far as record goes, this is my longest company. Not even my first company, which almost hit 2 years, which was Swift, and that was just me brand new to the trucking. Everything was awesome. So Mercer is 100% an awesome company. Agents are slacking a little bit. I never have a problem with them, but they're slacking a little bit. When you're pulling loads in the Northeast and you got loads selling for $2 a mile with an 8-foot tarp, fuel surcharge, everything included is $2 a mile, and you're going 300 miles, it's not paying enough. Low mileage loads like that should be paying a lot more. Even Schneider, I was getting $4 or $5 a mile for a couple 100-mile loads. And I think that was just the agents just trying to take whatever they can get their hands on, or they're just being extremely cheap and going after volume rather than going after good freight. I don't know. I haven't looked into that side of it, and I really don't care. That's what I've seen for the last 2 years. Our New Hampshire agent was like that. Massachusetts agent. I understand taking a cut on loads coming over to Ohio, going 500-600 miles, getting us out of the Northeast. Those are going to pay a little less. But for the loads that are local, running a couple 100 miles, they're paying way too cheap. Especially for flatbed. That's my opinion on it. I didn't really do the number research, but just from my past experience with pulling a dry van versus a flatbed, I should be making a lot more on those particular loads. What are we at? 16 minutes already? Good Lord. That and this has nothing to do with Mercer per se. Freight just sucks everywhere it is right now, and that's not entirely why I'm leaving at all. I'm also just I'm just tired of doing flatbed right now. I won't do van with Mercer because they're not where I want them to be for me to pull a van here. It's kind of the one downfall I feel for here is there's not really an ability to switch back and forth. I mean, you got to get approval and everything else, and you either do van or you do flatbed, and you know what I mean, or you do step deck. I did ask when I went and picked my trailer back up. They had it in line to be checked over and stuff as if I was returning, and I told them I wasn't ready to return it yet. I told them that from day one. I was just trying to find out what was going on with it, what the deal was on trading it in, or turning it in. That day I asked about switching over to step deck. Switching to a step deck, and he said that I had to get approval from safety, and then I had to talk to the head coordinator for the trailer department, for the coordinators and stuff. I don't remember the title, but I had to talk to him, and then I had to be put on a waiting list, which was about a year out in order to switch over to a step deck. That's ridiculous. But it is what it is. It's their setup, their policy. I don't hate them for it. The only thing I would say is if you're coming over here to Mercer, know what you want, do your homework, and pull what you think you're really going to want to pull. Pull it for a couple weeks, and if you don't like it, switch out. If you want to do step deck, but you're not sure that you're going to be able to do as good as flatbed, try it out. You have better odds of switching out of a step deck to a flatbed than you do flatbed to a step deck, for a fast process anyway. So I would say if you're really wanting to try out the step deck, go for that first. If that doesn't work out, then go back to them, tell them you want to switch back over to a flatbed. But don't just do it out of nowhere. Do some homework. You'll be able to play with the load board. That's what I really wish I did when I came over here. I really wanted to do step deck, and then he kind of talked me out of sticking to the step deck and going with the flatbed. And I really wish I just went to the flatbed, or went to the step deck like I originally wanted. But the new company is completely different. Like I said, I'm not really going to get into what's going on with the new company right now. I can tell you a couple things. I have to do a road test. I have to do an inspection. I have to road test is just something stupid. You go for a couple miles down the road. Can you drive in a straight line? Can you make turns? That's it. Can you follow signs and speed limits and stuff like that? A couple days of paperwork. That's it. Unfortunately, I will be getting paid once a week, which is one thing I will really miss about Mercer, where they pay after every load. But over there, I won't have as much payments. The freight won't pay as high, but there will be more of it. I gotta show you guys what this busted to me earlier on my way here. I'm trying to get it to download the device, but it's still processing. Download to the phone. I got it to go from my dash camera, downloaded to the app on the phone, transferred it to my Google Photos, and now I'm trying to get it transferred over to the actual cell phone. But Google Photos is telling me it's still processing. Whatever. We'll get her fixed. So I'll show you guys that here at the end. 20 minutes, jeez. That's it for now. I don't know. If you guys got any questions about the move and whatnot, let me know. I'll answer them the best I can. Number one question, do I suggest Mercer? Absolutely. Absolutely. Mercer is a great company. I'll put in the description, I'll put in my recruiter. Great guy. He's very knowledgeable of what to do. Gotta love it when somebody calls in the middle of your video. But I was saying, he's been with the company for like 15 years or something like that, maybe more. So he's like the top recruiter at Mercer. Very good guy. I actually met him a couple years ago down there at GATS, which is where I actually filled out my application for them. So in a nutshell, I just don't want to do flatbed anymore. Not that I don't want to do it, I just want a little change. My plan is still to go get my own authority and get switched over to that. Switching over to this company, it's not going to be a forever thing. Well, who knows? Who knows? My plan is to get my authority. My plan is to get a company up and established and growing. But that could change next year. My main focus right now is getting our house. The lawyers should have the paperwork now. We're just waiting for them to finish up and set up a closing date. That's mainly the whole reason I didn't just jump over right now. I mean, it's given me a little extra time to get things caught up within the next month. But the main reason I didn't switch is because I'm waiting on the house to be closed on. I just don't want to make any moves until that's over. But that's another thing. I'm going to be starting up another YouTube channel. Once I buy the house, not getting rid of this one, just starting up another one, because I'm going to be doing a lot of farming type stuff. We're looking at getting some animals and going to be doing stuff like that, kind of like a little homestead. But basically stuff that I can do when I come home on the weekends, and easy enough stuff that the old lady and the kids can handle maintaining while I'm gone during the week. But this new company that I'm going to, it's going to give me a little more time to focus on myself, and I don't have a load board. I'm not going to be dispatching myself. These these are downfalls. I do like dispatching myself. I do like having the load board, but it is what it is. This company's just got to take a little weight off my shoulders for a little while we're moving into the house and getting things done, and then well, the rest of it you'll have to find out when I tell you guys about the new company. So that's it for now. Sorry this video ran on for so long. Make sure you check the description. I'll leave that information down there for any of you guys interested in coming over to Mercer. Do not turn down Mercer because I'm leaving. I doubt anybody would, but Mercer is a great company. It's just at this moment, it's no longer for me at this moment. So we're gonna move on and take a new path. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and we might see you tomorrow. Later.